Hi, I'm Phil, and this is my channel, Kickin with Phil, and I'd love for you to like, share, and subscribe so you can get that notification bell. Hey you guys, what's up with Kickin again? And I got one of my really good friends, even a homeboy that we've known this, and all the way from Memphis, Tennessee, but he's here, he's an actor, I wouldn't even call him a producer, but he's also an incredible inspiration, and someone, somebody in times in this business, they don't always make it through the marriage things, but I'm gonna tell you something about that. This is actor, give it up for Rodney J. Hobbs. What's up, man?
What's up, brother?
Man, I'm just so glad you came out and just kicked it with me. It's just so cool, man. And we found out, well, we've known that you, just tell everybody a little bit about yourself. See, I know about you, but let them know a little bit about you, and then we'll talk about some of the projects that you're working on currently.
All right, so originally from Memphis, Tennessee, as you point out. I've been married to my beautiful, crazy, hilarious wife, Frida, for 18 years.
18 years in this business, that's something, brother.
Yeah, man,
wow.
It is. We've been in LA for 16 years, and I got a degree. We met at the University of Virginia, where I got a degree in business. And started a career in human resources.
That's right.
Got pretty bored with that pretty quickly, after a year and a half.
Wow.
And that's when I remembered that I always wanted to be an actor.
Wow.
So that's when I started to pursue acting. Started in Richmond, Virginia, doing theater and local commercials, that kind of stuff. And did that for 10 years. During that time is when Frida and I reconnected, because we met at the University of Virginia. We reconnected in Richmond, fell in love, got married.
Yes.
Once we got married, that's when she was like, she knew I wanted to be an actor and she knew I wanted to live in LA.
Wow.
So she was like, okay, we're married, when are we moving to LA? And I kind of was surprised that she just, right after marriage, she was like, let's get going.
Wow.
So she put me on the timetable, and I kind of pulled a year out of my butt when she asked me that and said, 2 years. And she held me to it. And we moved here in 2004, and we've been here ever since.
Wow, and you just started taking over with your acting.
Yeah, I mean, and once I got out here, I still work a day job in human resources.
I
always did that. And still work part-time for a law firm. But yeah, slowly started doing commercials and then, found an agent and started doing TV shows and every once in a while a film. But yeah, so it's been a wild, crazy, fun ride over the past 16 years, but I can't complain.
I just want to just sort of do this little thing because originally, because a lot of people, I have like a couple of friends that have gone to college, and a lot of times their parents encourage them, oh, don't do that, don't do that, get this and this paid. You get paid for that.
Of course.
So you got your business degree. You did all that.
Yeah.
You did all
got
that.
the sure thing.
Yeah. But then you're still in your heart.
That's it.
Wow.
That's it. I looked at, so I was at a really good company. It was a trucking company in Richmond, and I had a great job in human resources, which was my chosen field. And their plan was to train me in all these different areas and then move me to be a human resources manager someday. And I just thought about where that was going and where that would lead me. And I thought about, okay, what's the highest I can achieve in human resources? I could become the vice president of human resources for a corporate. That would be awesome. And I was not excited about that at all, man. I just was like, number one, it's easy. Number two, that would be so boring. And that's when I was like, I've always wanted to act. And kind of like you said, at some point in my schooling, either a guidance counselor or a teacher or somebody told me, oh, you're too smart to be an actor. You should do something more studious, doctor, lawyer. So I kind of just forgot about it. But once I got that job and got in that 9 to 5, it was like, is this all there is? There's got to be more to it than that. So yeah, that's what kind of pushed me to pursue my dream, man.
Wow. Now, was it easy to get your first agent or something like that?
So in Richmond, it was easy to get my first agent because Virginia is a right-to-work state, so you can be union, non-union, it doesn't matter. Every actor in Richmond pretty much had the same few agencies, and you could be represented by more than one agent. In LA, it was another story. So I wouldn't say it was easy. I lucked out. When we first moved here, we moved into an apartment with some good friends of ours, waiting on our stuff to arrive. The apartment manager at that apartment building was an agent.
Okay.
So he saw me hustling every day looking for a job,
Oh,
and he
that's the
saw me
coolest.
printing headshots. So eventually I just kind of asked him, are you taking on new clients? And he's just like, give me your headshot and resume. We'll talk.
Yeah.
And he became my first commercial agent.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
So, I guess that was easy, when I look back. But I didn't book a whole lot of work through him. I think I booked maybe 1 or 2 commercials.
Yeah.
After maybe 2 years. So once it was time to move, that's when I had to do a mail out, see who I know, ask my friends, who are you with, try to send a postcard or whatever, see if I can get a meeting. So I wouldn't say that was easy because I had to hustle for that.
All right. So now you're doing. I know that right now you're doing this Tyler Perry project.
Yeah.
As Principal Matthews.
Yeah.
Young Dylan.
That's right. Tyler
So
Perry's
tell
Young
us a
Dylan
little
on
bit
Nickelodeon.
On Nickelodeon. Tell us a little bit about that because I recently also saw you in Magnum PI. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
So I saw you that too, and you got a lot of stuff going on, brother.
I'm excited, man. Like I said, I'm blessed. I can't complain.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But so the Tyler Perry project was it came across from my talent manager.
Yeah.
Had an audition in January. Didn't think much of it. Just kind of did my usual prep, learn my lines, go in, do my audition, and the best thing you can do after an audition is forget about it.
Okay.
So I kind of forgot about it. I was like, I think I did good, but whatever.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they called. It was pretty quick. Like 3 or 4 days later, they were like, we need him in Atlanta for 5 episodes, and it's probably going to be like 5 weeks. I'm like, okay, I wasn't expecting all that. I didn't know I had to go to Atlanta. I had to figure out what my day job, can I do this? Is it okay if I go to Atlanta to do this job?
Yeah.
It totally worked out. I ended up going to Atlanta 3 times, so I didn't have to go for the whole 5 weeks.
Okay.
I just went back and forth.
Okay.
So I did 4 episodes out of 14.
Okay.
That's right. So I went back and forth to Atlanta 3 times, I think. And it was great. They put me up in the nicest hotel.
Oh my,
They
excuse me.
shuttled me around. The Tyler Perry studios are amazing. Just top notch. I felt like I was in Wakanda. Because it was it was black folk everywhere working behind the scenes, working in front of the camera, behind the camera. Of course, I got to work with Mr. Perry himself.
Yeah.
That was awesome. He even brought in a couple of other directors for some of the episodes, so I got to work with PhiL and her mom, Chip Hurd. They directed 2 of the episodes I was in. It was great. It was just an amazing experience.
Wow.
It was awesome. I'm hoping we get a 2nd season.
Yeah. Well, it's a good show, and the blue guy is
Young Dylan, man, he was all the kids were so super talented.
Yeah.
Like when I got there day 1 and we go through the first read-through, those kids were off book. I was just like, okay, these kids are ready. So, that kind of made me make sure I had my game up because I was like, I don't want to be slowing down the process. But yeah, Young Dylan, just the nicest, sweetest kid and just down to earth. He hasn't let the celebrity go to his head. His parents were on set with him. It really was an awesome experience, man. And it was a good family feel and a good family show. And I just can't say anything bad about it. It was awesome.
I'm loving it. One thing that I noticed that you said, and a lot of actors, sometimes they regret, having to go to auditions or this, that, and something you said, you go, you do it, and you just sort of move forward.
That's it.
What is it like?
It takes practice. Because, when you don't have a lot of auditions, it's hard to just do it and then forget about it because you're thinking, oh, I really want this gig.
Yes.
I really want to work with Tyler Perry. I really want blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So it helps when you get the experience of having lots of auditions. So, for instance, I had the audition for Tyler Perry. What I like to do is I like to plan an event afterwards so that my mind goes somewhere else.
Nice.
And a matter of fact, I had an event planned that weekend after the audition. So it's kind of like after this audition, I have something else going on to where I'm not going to put all my eggs in that basket and be waiting by the phone and all that. I'm just like, I'm going to do my audition and then I'm going to do this amazing event that I have planned afterwards. Yeah. So that's kind of how I work my audition process. And it also helps if I have it helps if you have something else going on in your life. Like I am very involved in my church, or I used to be. So I used to sing in the church choir. So after an audition, I might have to go to choir rehearsal or something. So, you know, it's like it takes my mind off of the audition and I focus on what's going on in the rest of my life. Wow. So that's why it helps as an actor to just have other things going on. So you're not just all about auditions and getting the jobs. Wow, you know, it's just do your work, do your prep, do your audition. Once you leave that room, your job is done because it's out of your hands.
Wow. And this also helps that Frida is there and...
Oh my gosh, it's invaluable.
Wow.
I mean, for real, the support, and she helps me prep my auditions.
What?
Sometimes she helps me record auditions. She has been a producer. She produced her own web series many years ago. So she totally gets the business. She knows how things work. Oh, and she directed the web series too. So she even can help me with lighting and cameras and angles. So yeah, she's an invaluable asset, man. It's like God really blessed me when he brought her into my life. And I mean, it started from day one when she pushed me to decide when we were gonna move. So yeah, she's been number one in my corner ever since.
What would you tell somebody, an actor, a young actor, or even just somebody right now who's doing this, but they get so discouraged, because, and you know, they just want to just pack up their bags and just go home.
Yeah.
Just go home.
It's as cliche as it sounds, the whole, we all heard it, never give up. If you know in your heart that this is what you want to do and this is the desire of your heart and this is your dream, you just gotta let the disappointments just roll off your back. I mean, because every no is getting you a step closer to your yes. And I used to play this game with my auditions where I would count the number of auditions I had before I booked one of them. So it just was a mental thing, and it was kind of a silly little thing, but as the number would go higher and higher, I would tell myself I was winning the game. So if I've had 20 auditions and I haven't booked anything, then I have 25 auditions and I'm like, the number's going higher. I'm winning. I wasn't really winning because that means I'm not booking anything. But it also meant I was still in the game and still working.
Yeah.
And eventually, I would have to go back down to zero because I would book something. It just always would work out.
Yeah.
And I got pretty high in some of those rounds in that Michigan. I mean, it got into the hundreds at one point where I was like, man, what's up, Lord? Where's my gig? You know, just gotta keep at it. I had a manager at the time, and he told me something I've never forgotten. His name was Steve Bucksbaum with Ad Astra Management. He said, you're not going to not book forever. Very simple. It's not even all deep. You know, there's no scripture reference. But he just said, at some point, you're gonna book a gig. Like, you're not gonna be playing this audition game forever. And it keeps me going. Every time I think about, oh man, it's been so long since I booked anything. It's coming. Just keep going, keep doing the work. Yeah, keep putting in the work. Keep going to acting class, keep working each audition. And another thing I'd like to do is I remind myself that how I do on audition number 27 has nothing to do with how I did on audition number 1. Like, it just doesn't have any, each audition is in and of itself a job to work on. And it has nothing to do with what has happened before. So that also helps. I just have to forget about the past.
Wow.
I guess that is a little scripture reference.
Okay.
Forgetting those things which are behind
and press
toward them. There it is. See? Look at you.
Okay. I love it. And I just want to say, man, I know we've been talking about all the good, but one day, has there ever been just one time that was just so, I mean, even with Frida there.
Yes.
That just one day that was just a little rough.
Yes. Oh yes, we all have those days. I'm trying to remember. I mean, there have been so many. I'm trying to remember in particular a moment where, I can remember when some really good friends of mine were going through a rough patch, a marriage that didn't make it. And they were our best friends at the time. And it was really tough for me to motivate myself, man, because I felt like our family, the family we had created, was breaking up. And I think that might have been the most depressing period of my life. And like you say, even though Frida was there kind of going through it with me, it was tough. And in those moments, that's definitely when I concentrate on my faith. And that's where it helps to have a foundation. And mine happens to be Christianity. I'm a Jesus follower. So it helps to have that foundation, because when things of the world start happening and kicking you around, and those moments where you really don't feel like getting up, you just gotta remember your purpose, your ultimate reason for doing what you do.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Oh man, and something, because it was The Price is Right. You ended up taking this guy was on Wheel of Fortune recently, and on The Price is Right, you took the stuff on home with you. Tell us a little bit about that. We're getting out of here.
So The Price is Right was in 2012. That was the year I turned 40. So I took myself to The Price is Right as a gift. And it just, luck. I mean, it really was luck, because you have no control over them calling you from the audience. So, and I didn't even play the game well that I got on stage and played. I kind of sucked at it. And then I spun the wheel and I got the highest number, so I ended up going to the showcase. And then I ended up being closer to my showcase than the other woman. We were both pretty far. Like, I was $9,000 off. She was $14,000 off. So I just happened to win. It was meant to be, kind of thing. And the funny thing about it is I watched The Price is Right since I was like 5 or 6 years old. And it was my ultimate dream to get on the show and win the showcase. So the fact that it actually happened, couldn't believe it. So then this year, I ended up going on the Wheel of Fortune because I had planned to do that for the year I turned 50. But the show was looking for Southern California contestants because of COVID. And I got an email saying you should apply now. So I went ahead and applied. And again, I was shocked when they called and told me, we want you to audition. Made it onto the show and came in second. So I'll take it.
I love it. I love it. Rodney J. Hobbs, I just want to thank you for kicking it with me.
Man, thank you for having me kick it with PhiL as well. It was awesome.